Ahoy and welcome to this week's video. If you're watching early and ad-free on the website, thank you very much. If you're not, then go and have a look at it if you want. You get early and ad-free access, real-time blog, boat work videos, Q&As, live tracking when I'm actually going somewhere again, and all the good stuff like that. Go and have a look. This week I'm heading from Walton Channel, which is a beautiful anchorage, over to Ramsgate, which is southeast UK. In order to do so, I had to cross the Thames Estuary, some shipping lanes, which was fun. I actually got battered by the wake of a container ship. Properly battered by it, which was good times. And I sailed all the way through a wind farm, which is super cool because they started turning into the wind and feathering their blades to set off going while I was sailing through it. It was utterly incredible. So yeah, let's get into this week's video then. Alright, here we go again. That was an impressive night's sleep. Flat calm, no wind, in a river type estuary type thing. Those lights you see are Felixstowe over there. Yeah, I'm going to fire the engine up now, warm it up, put some fuel in, and get going. So I'll do all that and then you can join me in a bit. Alright, we're fueled up, warmed up, G'd up. I think we're ready to go. I think what I can do is, if I put the tiller over, because we've got a tidal flow going past, we've got a current going past, I'll move the boat over, and then when I drop the mooring buoy, it should just fall away away from the shallow bit, which is over there. That's the theory. Let's see how it goes. How can I just fasten this up somewhere? Yeah. So you see now we've gone sideways to that buoy. Go and ditch some doodads. Maybe I'll take you with me. I think I should only need one hand. You know? Oh, I nearly lost my hat. So. Now the boat's turning away from the buoy and everything else, and we're just drifting off down the river, which I will now start driving into forward, going with the ebb. Goodbye beautiful anchorage. Honestly, that was an awesome night's sleep. I had grandiose plans of getting up at low tide to check everything was alright. Nah. Closed my eyes at like 9 o'clock or something. I opened them when the alarm went off. It was fantastic. I needed it. I got no sleep at Lowestoft. Right, I need to concentrate getting out of this channel, and then I'll catch up with you. I'm going to Ramsgate, by the way. That's my anchor alarm going off because I forgot to stop it. At least I know it works. Right, catch up with you in a bit. Cool. Alright, it's been a few hours, nothing much has happened. I put the headsail up I had a little bit of wind and then that died off. There's literally 0 at the minute. Coming up to a wind farm. I'm going to go through it because why not? I'll probably make a little individual video of sailing through a wind farm, and maybe I hope that does well on YouTube and actually make some money. I have a ship coming in from this side and an even bigger ship coming in from that side, and I'm going to be a tiny fiberglass sandwich in between them. So I need to just consult some things and have a look my best course of action. I believe that one will pass astern of me. This one I may need to manoeuvre around. I don't know, we'll give it well, that was 22 minutes, so we'll see how it develops. I may well stay outside of the lane until they both pass. Well, it's not a lane, it's a channel, but yeah, I may do that. I just need to consult and have a look and see and think. So I've just had a look. I'm still north of the marked channel, and the one off to port is going to pass ahead of me anyway. The one off to starboard is going to get quite close. So what I'm going to do is, before I get into the channel, I'm going to give it another 10 minutes, then I don't lose too much time, because I need to get around the headland down there before the tide turns. So I'm going to give it 10 minutes, and then what I'll do is I'll just put it into tick over, and just slow the boat right down and wait for them to both pass. That's the theory. I forgot to mention, so obviously the coal rigs determine who's the stand-on vessel. We're all motor vessels, so technically I'm the stand-on vessel to him and he's the stand-on vessel to me. However, in this scenario they're both following a dredged channel, which means they're both constrained by their depth. Therefore they have the priority. Yeah, so I'm just going to stay out of the way. So the big container vessel, I don't know if you can see it or not, is Zim Vietnam, a big old boy, and this one is Furi something or other. I've actually made a different decision. I've also put in a 20-degree turn to starboard as well, so that it is perfectly clear that I'm going to skirt the top edge of the channel and not cross until they're clear. And I've backed the revs off as well, so I'm just sort of pootling now. So yeah, once these guys are across in about 10 minutes, I'll get back on course or something. I'll try and get some footage of them crossing. Rightio, this is Furi Spa. Now if you look at it in relative to the wind turbines in the background, you can see that it is moving from left to right. Therefore it is going to pass in front of me. Then over to this big lad. Same, you can just about see that's moving from right to left against that thingy in the background. So that one's going to move in front of me. Yeah, pretty cool. And then I'm going to go and drive through here. Good, isn't it? Bang! Bloody love ships. That was quite cool. Off goes Furi Spa, away goes Zim Vietnam. Here comes the massive wake from the ship. So this is going to be interesting. It's
probably at about 60 degrees. So, you know, sometimes what you can do is turn into the wake to mitigate it a bit. But I think at 60 degrees we'll be all right. Seems to be 3 different waves, so it's going to be a little bit rolly. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. 4. And a big one for number 5. Oh, and 6. And a bit of 7. And that, Madame and Monsieur, is why you stow everything well down below. And that, Madame and Monsieur, is why everything's all over down below. This is a big boy as well, so I'm going to get one off there. I'll have a look as it's arriving. I might just nose into that one a little bit more, take a bit of the roll out of it. Yes, but shipping lane navigated. Yeah, time to navigate the old wind farm. It's a shame they're not spinning. So if so wind farms in this country, there's no exclusion zone around them. However, there is an exclusion zone 50 meters from each individual pylon, and the pylons must be made with at least 22 meters clearance from mean high water springs. So as long as your mast isn't higher than 22 meters, which mine isn't, it's about 10, you should have plenty of room above you. Yeah, I'm not sure about the substations. Maybe there's a bigger exclusion zone around them, so I'll just give them a wide berth. But yeah, I wish they were spinning. That'd be cool. Right, onwards. This one could be interesting. There's like breaking waves on the top of them as they roll in. You probably won't be able to see them very well, but yeah, this is going to be a splash. It's about 25 degrees off my starboard bow, so I'm happy to go through at this. It'll wash the boat down a little bit. I quite like physics, and it's amazing to think that this wave, the energy within it, it'll dissipate, but it won't disappear. And it's like the butterfly effect. It'll have an effect on things all around the world, kind of. Oh, this is a big one, this. I don't like this. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. This isn't going to be fun. Oh, God! Yeehaw! Oof. That was big. It was a double one, so I went nose first into the second one. Yeah, the deck's clean. All good. Yeah, I'm glad the energy in that way is pissing off somewhere else and not sticking around. Oh dear, that was a big lad. They're starting to turn. This is freaking awesome. I'm right in amongst it now. That thing there is the substation. I'll give that a good offing. Lots of electric, sparky there. Yeah, I'm surrounded. Fantastic. So bleeding cool. I don't know if it's them that I can hear or something else. I don't know, it's awesome though. This camera makes it look really far away. It's not. Maybe 200 meters. As I say, there's a 50 meter exclusion zone around them. Yeah, midday now, so the tide's going to be turning in my favour. ETA 1600. I hope that remains the same because the tide turns at Ramsgate and goes against me at around 1700. Yeah, I've actually got a little bit of wind. I might, I don't know, we'll see. Might get a sail up. might be a bit too close to it, and I don't really want to be messing about with my course in here, so yeah. There's a boat over there servicing one of them. I'll try and get some footage on my phone because I can zoom in. It's not a bad job. Cool as frig. So awesome. I've just got to watch around me because I've got a bit of a cross tide, so I don't want to get pushed one way or the other too close to them. This is about as close as I want to get, which is about 70 meters, something like that. Cool as frig. Substation. Happy days. This one here was sideways onto the wind. It's slowly rotating itself now, so it's going to start spinning, I think. You can see the head of it turning. Nearly there, about another 30 degrees. There it goes, it's starting to turn slowly. Ah, so the blades themselves are feathered, so the blades will rotate and turn into the wind. Still feathered. There they go, they're starting to unfeather now. should really be looking where I'm going. And there it goes. Think what you will about them, the engineering is fantastic. This one over here is turning into it, going to do the same. What a day! What a day! It's the same old story. I get within 9 miles, the wind gets up directly on the nose, as does the sea state, and I end up down to 3 knots. So the 2-hour trip extends by an hour. Every time. Honestly, you couldn't make it up. Yep, but still be there alright. Should be okay. If nothing else happens, I'll just put the 360 up and you'll see me coming into port eventually. Alright. So there's a little bit of west in the wind, which is that way. So what I've done is come in closer to shore than I might have done anyway, to sort of reduce the amount of fetch, which seems to have calmed down a little bit. So I'm back up to 4.5, 4.6. Obviously once I get around the headland near Broadstairs, that'll all change. That's over there somewhere. All these ships are at anchor, loads of them. This strong northerlies coming through, so I won't fancy being one of them over the next couple of days. Yeah, because obviously north is behind me. Yeah, so not a bad day. Shame it's all been on the motor, but I wanted an easy day, so it's where it is. Should be there at 4:15. It's enough time to get the boat put to bed, knock up something to eat, maybe have a walk into town and find a cheap pub, something like that. Oh, ready to get back now. I have noticed that the sea colour has changed. It's very greeny blue, as opposed to brown as it was before. It's quite cool, it's nice to see. Looking forward to being back now. Sort of from here, it's 26 hours to Haslar Marina, which is my next free marina, and I need a free marina. I don't know whether the last overnight passage I did was gnarly, man. I don't know whether I want to do another one. Not a coastal one anyway, but if I don't, I'm going to end up weatherbound in somewhere like Eastbourne for at least 4 or 5 days, because the weather really turns from Monday. So we either do a big push and get there as early as possible Sunday, because it starts turning on Sunday to southerly, or I've lost train of thought. Yeah, basically I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, that should surprise nobody. This is awful. Been beating into this for nearly 2 hours now. The port is there, I can see it, just can't get to it. I will do eventually, just not as quick as I would have liked. It is where it is. This is shite, is what it is. I've not got fenders out, there's no way I can get them out in this. I'm hoping I can do it in the marina, but it's blowing 20 plus now. So, I don't know, we'll just deal with whatever comes. This is crap. Alright, here we go into the harbour. You can see a little bit from the speeded up footage how rolly it was there. That's because I'd turned beam onto it. Coming into the harbour, all that was on the nose and it was just slowing the boat right down, which was frustrating, as you can tell. Coming into the harbour, the inner harbour now, which is where the outer marina is, weirdly, and then the inner marina is straight ahead of me through a lock.
I was told to just pick up any berth around this area, so I thought, oh, I'll just grab the one straight ahead sort of thing. As you can see, I didn't have any fenders out or anything because it was too rolly. I'll just grab the one straight ahead, which turned out to be a woeful mistake due to tiredness and stuff. This was interesting. Basically, just drifting the boat, hoping I don't hit anything while I'm up on deck and hoping I don't fall off the boat while I get the fenders out. So yeah, I just chose a nice simple one in front of me. What I didn't realise is that finger berth, as you can see now, is tiny. A lot shorter than what I'm used to, which meant that my usual trick of throwing on a loop and driving forward into it like a spring wouldn't work because the aftermost cleat on the dock was forward of my midship cleat. It was just no good, so I came out and selected something else. A chap actually shouted at me from over the way and said, look, come in here. The pontoons are a lot better. So rather than trying to turn around in the fairway or anything like that, the wind was blowing here. I mean, it was sort of 15 knots, something like that. It is a bit protected in there. You can see from the swell coming through that I was going to have a bad time. So I decided not to spin around in the fairway and to just do it in a little bit more space out here. Cheeky turn on the spot there, using prop wash and prop walk to spin the boat round. Something that DCW taught me. Oh, as he said when we were practicing it, he said, "Wow, this is revolutionary." God, I miss him. Yeah, these finger pontoons are a lot bigger and a lot better. So I always find it strange. I'm so used to coming in on my own that when somebody helps me, I'm sort of at a loss. I don't know what to actually do because I'm used to just doing it myself. But this really nice guy came, helped me get the lines on and stuff like that, which was much appreciated, especially after the last slog of a couple of hours. Once the line's on, the rest is just rope work, as Dave would say. So that's that. All right, that was that. Hope you enjoyed the video. I actually spent a little bit of time in Ramsgate. It wasn't great. The town itself, absolutely fine. But the marina, I was in the lower part of the marina, as you saw, which is, you'd think it was really well protected, but it isn't. The swell that goes through there is absolutely horrible, and I was sitting out some weather for quite a few days, so the boat just got battered. You can see from the side of other boats here that everything gets battered in there, and I couldn't get into the inner harbour, which is behind a lock, so. Fucking hell, I'm bollocks. Yeah, wasn't great, but spent a few days there. Town was good. Has the country's biggest Weatherspoons, which was handy, just on the doorstep. And yeah, that was that. So yeah, tune in next week where I round the corner, start heading west, get engine failure again, more severely this time, and get rescued by the RNLI. So that was the thing. Tune in next week. Auf Wiedersehen.